All right, guys, Automated Garage back today with a 2002 5.9 24 valve Cummins. Nice clean truck here. Paint is a little rough on it, but she is in mint shape, low miles, just over 100,000 miles on it, I believe. But customer came in saying my air conditioner is cooling great, but it smells terrible in the truck when I run it. And what he's smelling is the antifreeze. So the heater core is not a terrible leak. It's not getting the floorboard, nothing like that, but it's enough to get in the HVAC box and just stink this truck up with antifreeze every time you turn it on. Even getting a slight mist out of the vents when you initially turn it on, blowing it out. So what's involved with this is loosen your threshold, get your kick panel out of the way, take your piece of plastic off there, and then that's gonna make it ready where we can get to all the bolts to get the dash loose. The first thing we have to do is drop the column, and then I'll show y'all where all the bolts are located. We're not gonna pull the dash all the way out. We're just gonna get it back enough to be able to reach over the top, undo the two hose hold downs. We'll get our connections loose under the hood there, and then we'll have to actually cut the lines so we can pull the heater core out. You can work the new one in. It's a little bit different design, and get that replaced. So let me get some tools and we'll get to that point. So this dash has actually been replaced by me probably 2-3 years ago. It's a complete LMC dash. That's why this one does not have the typical second gen osteoporosis cancer thing going on here. So we want to be real careful to not mess any of this brand new stuff up. Instrument bezel and the dash cover itself is all new. And the challenge when I put that in was dealing with all the broken plastic that it goes on top of, because finding that the inner plastic skeleton of the dash, I don't think you can get that new anywhere. And you know, any truck that does have it that's worth the crap, you're not going to get it out in one piece because it all falls apart too. So with that being said, just be careful with your dash if it's in decent shape, which I'm sure most of y'all's is not, since that's a Dodge thing. So we got 8mm right down here on the dash. 1, 2, 3, I believe there's 5 all the way there. So I'm going to get those loose first. Let me back those out. All right, you got your two 10mm right here. Hold your column up. And you want to just let it down real easy and let it rest on the seat right here, so you're not pulling on anything and breaking it. All right, you have a 13mm right here on both sides. We're going to remove both of those there and right over there. So on this side, you're gonna depress your emergency brake cable so you can get in here to the other one on the driver's side. All right, disconnect the plug right here on this lower bracket for the dash. Then you're gonna undo the 10mm that's on each side of it. You can see the whole dash is ready to move now. I can get the one on the other side. All right, so we pulled the dash back. You can see that we now have access to our heater core. You may have to move the dash just a little bit more like that when you go to actually pull it out. So now we're gonna disconnect our hoses out there on the outside before we do anything else in here. All right, there is our 2 lines that we're going after right back there. It's a lot of fun getting those clamps off, and we also found an additional coolant leak right here where this barb goes in. So we'll be backing that out, retaping that, and putting it back in because there's a little bit of a coolant leak there. So I'm gonna get those disconnected because there's no way for me to actually show y'all doing that once I get my hands back there. So just disconnect your hoses there. All right, I have pulled and I've yanked and I've pried, and I cannot get those heater hoses off. They're the original ones that are 22, 23 years old now. So they gotta be replaced. They're crusty anyways. So I'm gonna go on and cut the hard lines on the inside, get the heater core raised up so that I can pull that pipe out here a little bit more to cut that off shorter, because we're just gonna replace those hoses. And if your hoses are in good shape, by all means, try to reuse them. If you can't, just do what I'm doing here. All right, so now is the part where you're gonna take your cutter and you're gonna get up in there and cut these off anywhere in this portion right here. So you can slide this up. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the outside, because at that point I'll be able to pull it out to where the metal portion of the tubes are sticking out of the firewall, since those hoses are stuck on there so tight, and all I'm doing is literally bending up the metal trying to get them off. And pull that out since we're replacing the heater hoses. So I'm gonna cut this side. I'll show y'all raising that up, and then we'll cut the outside, put the new one in, and then we'll start putting everything together. And we're gonna make sure we don't have a whole bunch of antifreeze down there in the box. It's gonna keep smelling until it's all gone. So we'll do our best to clean that up. But let me get these cut off and we'll go from there. All right, since we were replacing both the heater hoses, I've just cut them off right here so that I can blow compressed air through there to get as much of the coolant out of the heater core as I can, so there's not a bunch in that tube, so that when I cut those, I won't be slinging any antifreeze in this nice truck in here. If you weren't replacing the hoses, just disconnect them and do this same part. But the idea here is to try to keep from making any more of a mess than you have to. All right, we cut both of those off. I'll try to do this. I can show y'all. Let's raise it up. And you can see how much of a problem we had down here at the bottom. That's why she was smelling so bad inside the trunk. All right, so I cut both off right outside the firewall, since you could pull both of them out now since they were cut free of the heater core, to get those off. And these are really, I don't know if you can hear this, but they were really crusty. So new heater hoses. I'm gonna look down in the box and get anything cleaned up down in there I need to, and then we can go back together. All right, so as you can see down in there, we have some stuff to clean up, because we don't want to leave that in there, because that'll be smelling for a while if we leave that. So I'm gonna do my best to get some paper towels down in there, probably do a good wipe with some brake clean, and get all that funky smell and crap out of the box here. All right, so as you can see now, we're all nice and clean, and that's sopping it all up with paper towels, a couple shots of brake clean, sop it up some more. I was using my long needle nose pliers to move the paper towel around and pull it back out, because my hand will not fit down in there. Stuffed it up this direction because there's a little bit running that way. So we got it good and clean. Should be enough that blowing some air through there will get any other residual out and get the smell gone, because I'm not going to take this whole heater box out. So anyways, time to reassemble now. All right, new heater core, put your foam around it here. And this is what I was talking about. On the new one, you can move the tubes to get them in and out. They were stationary on the old one. So this is crimped, and there's an O-ring there behind it. So that's how you're able to work the new one in here. All right, so you insert your heater core that direction. So with your pipes flipped up, so you can get them stuck through the hole in the firewall. Once they're stuck through, then you can kind of raise it up. I know I can't hardly get y'all a shot of this. Try to do this with the left hand. And you can raise it up, and you keep kind of wiggling it and working it through. I'm gonna have to have both hands do this. But anyways, you wiggle it and work it through till you can swing this down and go down into the box. All right, she's in there. The toughest part is once you get it tilted all the way down, except for this back corner. Once you get to here, the lip on the bottom of the heater core where it's crimped wants to catch on this edge of the plastic. So what I do is just take a screwdriver, and you don't have to be rough with this at all, because you don't want to mess up the new heater core, but you just gently pry this plastic away using the bottom tank of the heater core here. Pry it away just enough so that that crimped lip will clear that plastic right there, and then it slides right down in there. That's the tightest fit of getting it in there. And this here, this is all rubber. So this is part of what you got to do also, is while you're pushing it in, push in on this rubber, because these hoses are up tight, pretty tight against this rubber, and you don't want to start bending the mounts that are brazed on there, not brazed, welded, whatever, onto this aluminum here. You don't want to start twisting those around, so just push on that rubber so you're not bending the pipes and these mounts and being rough on these O-rings that are in here. So as we mentioned earlier, we had a coolant leak right here. I'm taking off the remnants of this heater hose so I can replace it, and I was going to tighten this up or put tape on it and tighten it up anyways, but this is how loose it is right here. So I wonder why it was leaking. I mean, he made it easier for me, the last guy did. This has had studs done, obviously, not by me, turbo and some other stuff, but that's just slacking right there. All right, that's much better, all cleaned up. Some tape on it. We're gonna put that in and we'll be done out here if we throw our heater hoses on. I'm gonna flush this and run the truck before I put the dash up and just double check for any leaks on that brand new heater core just to be safe, and then we can throw the dash in and be done. All right, so we got our dash put back in just enough to let it run and verify that we have no leaks over there. I'll show you. So like I said, we got everything just in finger tight right now, just so the dash will sit here. We can have the column hanging, crank it up. We're gonna let it get up to temp, make sure the thermostat opens, verify there's no leaks. Then we'll go along and tidy all this up, tighten everything up the way it's supposed to be. Y'all check out other content on the channel here. We appreciate y'all watching. Check us out at automedicgarage.com, Facebook and Instagram. If you're not a member of our Patreon, consider visiting it. If this channel has helped you fix your truck, or you enjoy helping produce content like this, or just want to help support the channel, we'd appreciate that. So go check us out there. This is Auto Medic Garage signing out. We'll holler at y'all later.